morning in our series On the Money, we are focusing on talking to your kids about finances. A recent survey found that more than 60% of parents plan to start teaching their kids about money before the age of 12. So here with some tools to help spark those conversations is Yanely Espinal. She is the Director of Educational Outreach at the nonprofit organization Next Gen Personal Finance and also the author of Mind Your Money. Yanely, good morning.
Welcome back.
Thanks for having me back, of course.
Okay, so for a lot of adults, I think growing up, it wasn't a regular topic of conversation with our parents to talk about money. I know it wasn't for me, but how do you see why it's important to introduce financial literacy to kids young?
Yeah, I'm of the position that the earlier the better, because research actually shows that they're starting to develop financial habits as early as 3. And then those are largely set by the age of 7. And these are things like, delayed gratification, which is related to managing money. And also knowing that you have to plan in advance before you step outside and go spend money. You have to plan that spending. So a lot of that happens between 3 and 7. So that's like a critical window for parents.
Wow, that's so young.
Don't freak out if you're a parent like, wait, I missed that window. Oh, no, I'm not doing things right. You can always start right now with kids as long as it's age appropriate. It can be as young as 3 or 4 years old. That looks like putting coins in a piggy bank, right? But then as they get older, it might be going grocery shopping or doing different things that actually are more age appropriate as they develop. I think the key is what you said is like, let's create new generational cycles where if our parents didn't talk to us about money, I know like mine didn't because they're immigrants and there was a lot of financial shame in my home. So now I get the chance to create new generational cycles and new patterns by being the auntie who talks. I have 10 nieces and nephews. So I'm always talking to the kids about money and lessons about saving and investments. And so I think it's our calling to make sure we create those new patterns.
And those parents appreciate it.
Yes, they do.
No doubt about it. So I think during the summer, especially, parents are worried about that slide, right? When it comes to math, especially.
Yes.
So work in some money chat. How do you keep young kids, like you're talking about, those elementary school kids, engaged?
Yeah, I mean, once 3 and 4 is easy because you're just like playing shop at home. Like we're taking turns. You're going to be the customer, I'm going to be the merchant, and then I'll be the customer, you be the merchant. Yeah. But once they're in school, like kindergarten through 3rd, 4th grade, now you kind of need something that's a little bit higher level. So that more hands-on, the more tactile, the better. There's games like the bean game where they can actually set up a little budget with beans. So it's not like real money yet. It's like, okay, I want to put 3 beans towards my apartment so I can live by myself. Or I'll put, maybe 2 beans and live with a roommate so that I don't have to pay as much for my own apartment. So the concept is still age appropriate, even though they're not being handed thousands of dollars and being told to go rent an apartment. So I think like 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, those are really great developmental stages to read books about money together and start talking about banks and go from a piggy bank to an actual bank account and things like that, right? Those are like the critical transition points. And I would say also like 3rd and 4th grade is when they go from reading, like learning to read the words, to reading to learn. So now you can actually read to learn about what is a bank and what do we do with money. It's a medium for exchanging for goods and services, and that kind of idea of the word consumer in the economy, like all of that can come in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade.
Now that we've got about 2 minutes left, let's get to middle schoolers here because I've got a rising 7th grade boy who enjoys spending money. So now we're trying to teach him a little bit more about money. What are some strategies to employ there?
Honestly, I think vocabulary is big in the middle school phase. So like here, talk to them about words like producer, consumer, business owner, profit, like Shark Tank. You can watch episodes of Shark Tank together and introduce that concept, right? Give them a challenge like, what if you had to own a business and run the business instead of just being a consumer? What if you had to run a business and see what it costs to have a cookie shop or a lemonade stand? And then from there, you can introduce concepts like investing because you can say, do you know what? You can profit from growing businesses even if you don't operate the business every day. That's called investing in shares of stock. And so then you can talk about things like this toothpaste we have. Yeah, Procter & Gamble, you can get stock from them. Or these Nikes we wear, you can get Nike stock.
He does love Nike.
It's a cool concept.
What's this plan an outing? We're planning an outing to have this conversation.
That's a really great project-based thing where you can say, you know what, we're going to go out to the movies tonight as a family. You got to do the budget. How much are we going to spend for the tickets, for the snacks, to get there and back? This is your project to own.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we get to high schoolers.
Yes.
What's the best way for them to save money?
At high school, actually, there's 30 states that already require high school students to take a course in personal finance before they graduate. So they're learning some of this stuff, but you can reinforce it at home. Just do an online search for these 4 words: free games, financial literacy. that will pop up games like the Uber game, where you have to pretend to be an Uber driver and learn about the gig economy.
Okay.
Or, you know, the game Payback, where they have to pretend to go to college and pay for tuition and textbooks and meal plans and transportation and a social life. So these things that are app-based, game-based, and hands-on are great for teenagers, and they're digital, so it's not like the piggy bank like for the little kids. Exactly. It's a little more advanced.
Yesterday, Rusty, my 4-year-old, he says, if I make this goal, will you give me $10? And I said, sure, buddy.
Let's
he
do
made the
it.
goal.
Yeah.
I gave him $10. He hands it back to me. He said, can you put this in my wallet?
Incentives. Oh,
wow.
Piggy bank. I love that. I love that.
Smart boy, Rusty.
Yes.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.